Now, here the economy is stagnating, our productivity is sinking ever backwards, and we are poorer as individuals than we were when Labor first won office 3 years ago. The budget had 5 minutes of sunshine in surplus, but now with Labor's unprecedented increase in government spending, the deficits stretch endlessly to the horizon. So we need reform. You know, like we got with the Labor Bob Hawke and Paul Keating coupling, and also later with John Howard and Peter Costello. But Anthony Albanese and Jim Chalmers, well, they got nothing. So the Prime Minister and his Treasurer called their chosen representatives together today for some ideas. They came from business, industry, government agencies, think tanks, community groups and unions, lots of unionists, way too many unionists, to put on a sort of a kabuki theatre pretending the government was willing to cobble together an economic reform agenda. I mean, this mob were only re-elected 3 months ago. We might have expected them to take an agenda to the election, no? Listen to the Treasurer this morning. He just wants everyone to understand how hard it is to run a country, and he makes an astonishing admission.
We chose it because we want you all to grapple with the same sorts of issues and trade-offs and opportunity costs that we grapple with every week or almost every week in this room, in the Cabinet, in the Expenditure Review Committee and the other committees of the Cabinet. And we also chose this room because at one of the first Cabinet meetings after the May 3 election, we decided collectively to put a more productive economy really at the core of our second term agenda.
Yeah, you heard it. They got re-elected telling us they had a plan. Then they sat down in the Cabinet room for the first time after the re-election and they decided they might need to do something. They came up with the need for an agenda after the election. Look, they know what tax changes they want and what net zero plans they'll get out of this round table. It's all been worked up beforehand, of course. And if you wonder just how out of touch and delusional the government could be on our energy crisis, that is our soaring prices and our unreliable supplies of electricity, well, have a listen to the PM.
My government is also, I think, defined by our optimism. I think there's nowhere in the world you'd rather be than Australia, with the natural advantages that we have. The access to the best solar resources in the world and one of the best wind resources.
Our natural advantages, sunshine and wind. Really? Hey, PM, every country has sunshine and wind at varying levels at varying times. What we are lucky to have is coal and gas and uranium. That's our natural advantage, such an advantage that countries like China, India, Korea, Japan and others power themselves on our coal and our gas and our uranium. But Albanese and Chalmers don't want us to use this stuff here. They'd rather we have expensive and unreliable energy and pretend that we can save the planet. If you do not end this energy madness, then you will never resurrect our economy. Fixing energy should be top of the agenda. It speaks volumes about this economic roundtable. The most incisive commentary has come from a very funny cartoon. Mark Knight in the Herald Sun has the knots of the round table, not his namesake, the Knights, but the knots of the round table, with Albo saying there will not be any real tax reform, Chalmers saying they will not cut spending, the unions not backing down on their 4-day working week madness, and best of all, the Victorian government not here because they're working from home. And as for the rest of us, we're not hopeful. Great cartoon there from Mark Knight. Maybe they should have had cartoonists at the round table for some home truths. Unless you have a plan to cut government spending and reduce power prices, you are just not serious. This exercise does not appear to be serious.